I am Alison Merritt, and today on Thinking Outside the Box, I'm going to show you how I created these absolutely gorgeous hearts. I will go through each one and show you exactly how I created it. These beautiful hearts can be found at tinypandora.com, and they come in a kit. You get a silkscreen, cutter, you get some little brushes, bales, brushes to apply paint or mica or whatever you want, and I'll show you that kit in a moment. It's a very generous kit, well worth the money. There's so many things you can create with this. I created pendants, but you can let your imagination run wild. I'm going to show you how I created each one of these. But first, we're going to go through a list of what you will need. First thing, you will need some polymer clay. My favorite is Primo, and you're going to want black polymer clay for this project. I have conditioned my clay. I've cut them out into squares, so I'm not wasting a bunch of extra polymer clay doing these surface treatments. And as you can see, I can fit a heart into each one, and I have done that twice. Now, these are rolled out to a number 4 on my pasta machine, number 1 being the thickest. I like to use a 4 and have it thin because I do add resin to my sides, my front, and my back. So it's totally encapsulated in resin, and that will make your piece thicker. And this is what the back looks like. Let me wipe it off. Got my greasy fingerprints all over it from clay. But these are what the backs look like with the resin and the sides, and see, it'll add thickness to it. Absolutely gorgeous. I had so much fun creating these. Now first I'm going to show you the kit and what you get. You get these little applicator brushes. They're not really brushes, they're more like a felt at the end, but they're perfect for fine tuning in these little areas if you want to for paint. And I'll show you what I fine tuned in the area of this beauty. I used these to do it. So you can use alcohol ink, you can use paint, you can use the glitter product I'm about to show you. They're wonderful, and they are reusable. So this little pack here will last you a while. You get a cutter in the kit. And this particular kit, of course, we have the heart cutter. You will get bales, a very generous amount, and brushes to work with. I love Tiny Pandora's brushes. She always has like the best brushes. Like, I'm addicted to them, especially when they're purple. Purple's my favorite color. But you have 3 different types of brush. You have an edge brush, so you can work at an angle. You have this smaller brush. These are all soft but firm. I like that. And a thicker brush. And this can be a shaping tool. So you get those. And you get the Silkscreen in 4 designs. Now, these Silkscreens were designed by Rhonda Jones. I'm not sure if you are all familiar with RJ Crafts, but Rhonda Jones is the heart, is the brain, is the owner of RJ Crafts. She's an amazing, amazing woman, so you might want to go check out her website. I will have a link in the description, as well as a link to every single supply that I'm about to show you. Anyway, she designed these Silkscreens exclusively for Teresa at Tiny Pandora. And I love them. They have a boho feel to them. They're just absolutely amazing. And this cutter matches right up to each design on the screen, making your job much easier to complete your project. Now, another thing I wanted to mention, when you order items from Tiny Pandora, Teresa always includes the cutest little charms as a free gift. And I love these, and every time I've gotten something different, which is amazing. This one happens to be the Tree of Life, and for me, that's a very special one. So thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you for offering this kit. Your work is amazing. You're an amazing woman. I'm just so pleased to know you. So very happy. All right, so that's what the main thing, the star of the show, this is what you're going to need to create these gorgeous hearts. And now I'm going to show you the products used for each heart. And we are going to start with this glittery, sparkly beauty. And what I used for this are stickles. I don't know if any of you guys have done craft booking in the past. I don't know. I think beading and craft booking are like a gateway drug to polymer clay. But I have so many supplies from my scrapbooking that I have transferred over to my polymer clay, and that again is just thinking outside the box. But these are stickles, and these are amazing because they're dimensional. They can be dimensional. They don't have to be dimensional, but you can apply them to be dimensional, and they come in so many colors. For this project, for this heart here, I used the Stickles Christmas Red, Lavender, which is just gorgeous. Purple's my favorite color, Thistle, which is a very pretty pink, and here we go, Pumpkin. Everybody was wondering where you were in the last video. Tell them I was being a really bad boy and I had to be put on a timeout. Dude, don't knock my stuff over or you'll be back on that timeout. And magenta. So I used 4 colors, 4 glitters in this particular heart. And I will show you how I did that. On to the next heart. Let's see, these 2 here. If you watched my last tutorial, you will know that I introduced, which it's been around for a long time, but to me it was new, a product that is interference paint, and it produces just a glowing, sparkling effect on the clay. And that is the Deco Art Media Fluid Acrylics. And for these 2 hearts, I use the Media, the Deco Art Interference Turquoise, Blue, and Purple. And I will show you exactly what I did to achieve these 2 hearts here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, on this one, I also used the Deco Art Extreme Sheen Metallic Gold. This is the 24 karat gold. This is what I used through the Silkscreen. I don't know if you've got the Extreme Sheen paints, but if you don't, get them. They are inexpensive and they are amazing. I have used them on so many projects. And I also used that on these 2 in the 24 karat gold. For this tutorial, I'm going to use the 24 karat gold, but I'm also going to show you the silver. And this is the sterling silver in the Extreme Sheen. And I created, this is an elephant. This is another kit that is offered by Tiny Pandora. And I used the interference paints, and for the Silkscreen, I used the silver. And what's really cool about this is the technique in the background looks like cloth, and the silver almost looks like lace. And just to let you know, she also offers owls. I couldn't resist, had to have all 3 sets. But these are amazing, amazing. What I'm going to teach you with the hearts, you can transfer over to the owls and the elephants also. So you might want to get all 3 sets. All right, so last but not least, I will show you how I created, or the supplies that you need to create this one. This one was really thinking outside the box, which I love to do. And I want to show you a product that you may or may not have. You probably have worked with foils, foil sheets, which I love, but Cosmic Shimmer Gilding Flakes. They create the most scrumptious flakes, and they come in so many different colors. Now you want to be careful. You definitely don't want a fan on when you open this, and you almost don't want to breathe because these little flakes will go flying. But don't be scared of that. Don't let me scare you off. You want these in your stash. You definitely do. I'm going to open this and I'm going to show you the amazing. See, it's already getting everywhere. Look at this. Look at this. How can you resist? This jar really wasn't all that much. I will post a link where I will find the place that it is on sale right now and post the link to the cheapest price that you can get. But look at this. Look at this goodness. This particular one, I'm going to have to take it out of camera shot. This one is called Red Blaze, and it is shimmery goodness of copper and gold and silver and some greens and some magentas and of course red. And oh my gosh, this is how I did this, and I'm going to show you in this tutorial the technique to create that. So I'm going to carefully put that back on there. Cosmic Shimmer has some really cool products. These flakes come in probably 9 or 10 more varieties. They have gold, they have silver, they have copper. They have just some absolutely amazing, amazing flakes. But those are what I used for this one. And I also used black acrylic paint. This just happens to be folk art. And that is how I silk screened the design onto that one. So what else do we need? To do your silk screens, you're either going to want to have a color shaper. This is a silicone brush. It's not per se a brush. It looks like a brush, but it is a chunk of silicone that just helps guide the paint onto the silk screen. If you don't want to have one, get one of these, or you don't have one, you can always use an old credit card or an old debit card or an old gift card, whatever, and just use the edge of it, which I've done in my other videos. But I did get my hands on this, and I do love it. So you're going to want one of those, and you are going to want a tub that your screen, big enough to fit your silk screen, of warm soapy water that you can put your silk screen into after you use it. And then that way you will keep it free of getting clogged or caked up with paint. You want to get that cleaned right away. At least put it in the soapy water and it'll be soaking and it won't dry, and the paint won't dry in there and it won't clog it up. Now I'll tell you how I achieved this gorgeous shine and how I did the edges. The edges I did, well, first I'm going to show you how, or tell you what I used to get the shine on the front and the back. And that is RJ Crafts Easy Dome UV resin. This resin is amazing. I can't stress this enough. there's hardly any, and I'm telling you, almost zero odor out of the bottle. When it's curing, there is zero odor. It is not offensive to your nose. I don't even use my mask or my respirator that I used to use with my other resins, only because the smell was like so nauseous that I was afraid that if it smelled that bad, it was probably hurting me. So this is the resin I used for this. Now, this resin takes 30 minutes to cure. So it's not really a resin you want to use on the edges of your pieces. You want something that works a whole lot quicker. So before I even use the Easy Dome, I apply Tiny Pandora Deep Shine Brush On UV Resin to my edges. I get that on the edges of the pieces, and then I work with the front and the back with the Easy Dome. Now, a lot of people have been asking for a resin video, and I am actually going to create it after I do this video and put it up on my YouTube channel so that you can all refer to that. I'm not going to do it in this video. It's going to be a separate video by itself because there have been so many questions on how I do my resin. And I think that is it for your supplies. I'm going to go ahead and get set up, and I will be back, and we will start with this heart. Be right back. I'm back, and we are going to create this beautiful heart first, or at least we're going to do the veneer for it, and then we'll do the silk screen on all of them, but we're going to do the veneers first. So I am going to very carefully open up my Cosmic Shimmer Gilding flakes, and I'm going to turn this way because I want to try and not get them on this piece, which is probably not going to be an easy task. But I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to move my other clay out of the way so it does not get them. Now with these, you just want to be careful to put just one layer down. Otherwise, if you've got a layer on top, it will pull up and you won't get a clean impression with your silk screen. So what I do is just kind of put my brush in the flakes and softly put them down on my clay. And you just keep dipping that in there and patting and kind of softly brushing it down so that you're just getting one layer. And you're just gonna keep doing this until it's all down on your square. That's another reason I made smaller squares, you know, just to fit the hearts on these veneers so that you don't waste product also. Although leftover veneers aren't really a waste. I save them because I can make beads out of them. So it's not really a waste. Or I can use them for scrap clay and have that sparkle or color or whatever, you know, that I can use for the back of my, okay, come out of there, for the back of my pieces. Sometimes it's nice when you get a big one like that and you can just kind of move it around. This is a lot different than putting down a sheet of foil. You need to have a little patience with this because, like I said, you want to make sure that you're just getting that one layer of flakes on there. Otherwise, when you go to do your silk screen and believe me, I've done it a few times where it messed up the impression of the silk screen because that top layer of the gilding flakes didn't have anything to stick to. So it came up and it took my paint impression with it. So rather than you watch me do this, I'm gonna do this off camera and I will be back. Okay, I'm back and I have put the gilding flakes all over, and now I'm just going to make sure that I have just the one layer on that, and that's by lightly brushing across and getting up any little extra flakes that aren't totally stuck to the clay. And you want to just keep doing that until you don't see any more coming off. And then that way you'll get a very good impression from the paint and the silk screen. So I'm just gonna do that a little bit more. Just make totally sure. Because now on this one, I'll show you. In this area here, there was some gilding flake that did not, it had an extra layer on it. So when I took the silk screen up, that area had nothing to stick to, so those flakes came off. And what I did after bake was I just kind of painted in there, and it's not perfect. It bothers me. It still looks good though, but it's not perfect. So that's why you just want to be, you know, just make sure that you've got everything stuck to the clay, that there's nothing sticking up, nothing extra to mess up your paint job. All right, so that looks good. I'm gonna leave this alone. And this part here, I am going to create this. So I'm gonna leave this because we are not gonna use the screen yet, and these will actually go on, the stickles will go on after bake. So let me move this out of the way and get our next. These are going to be for these two, and we're going to create our surface treatment for these. And that is going to be with the Deco Arts interference paints, the turquoise, the purple, they call it violet, and the blue. Now for these, what I like to do is finger paint them on. And it gives it kind of a cool effect where in this one, it almost looks like cloth in the background. So you're gonna wanna have a paper towel handy to wipe your fingers off. And I think we will start with turquoise. And both of these are gonna be done in that fashion. Let me move these out of the way. So those are the two that we're working on now. Shake your paint really good. You wanna get all that mica goodness shooken up in there. I got a little gilding flakes on that, but that's okay. It's gonna be covered, I made it worse. It's gonna be covered up by paint, so no big deal. All right, what I like to do is work outside of the cap when it's not a cruddy mess. And I take my pinky and I'm just going to dab these on. And I like the look that my fingerprint gives it. It's just kind of an organic look. It's pretty cool. So I'm just going to continue to do that. And it's okay if that bottom layer isn't dry. The turquoise that we started with, that's perfectly fine. And in fact, it's fun because it will kind of blend those and come up with another color. So that works too. Can't really make mud out of these guys. Sorry if I sound a little nasally. I live in Florida and my allergies are horrible right now. I don't know what the heck is blooming out there, but it's killing me. All right, purple is done. Put these over here. Now we're going to move on to blue. Shake it up good. Clean out the crud. That's what happens when you work out of the caps. You get the crud in there, but it comes right out. No big deal. All right, adding the blue. Oh, I love this blue. It glows once you put that UV resin on. It's shiny and glowing and just amazing. I see like making a wonderful, like, I don't know, underwater scene with jellyfish with these colors. I think that would be pretty awesome. Or a galaxy. My daughter said, you need to make a galaxy. So maybe I'll work on that, and if I figure it out, I will share it with you guys. All right. That side's done. Let's add a little more paint to this so we can put more blue on this one. Just really love these paints. They're fun to work with. Hope you're all having a great day. It's nice and sunny today in Florida, but still cold. But I'll take it. I like the cool. These areas that look white, once they're dry, they will be the color. They will not be white. All right. That is done for the veneer for these two hearts here. Now we need to let these dry before we can go ahead and do our silk screening. And these here don't need to dry, but I do like to let that sit for a while and let it soak into, or let the clay oils get into it so that it's really adhered on there. And then before I screen it, I'll do this again and make sure. See, I'm still getting little bits off, but let the oils get into that and you'll get a better piece out of it. So I'm going to let these dry. We will just screen on this one and do the surface treatment after bake. And I will be back when these two are dry. So I am back and the paint is still drying, but I wanted to show you, I have just some of my Cosmic Shimmer Gilding flakes in my stash. I didn't grab all of them, but I wanted to share other colors that they have. This one is called Summer Meadow, and it is beautiful. It has green and gold, and you need to be really careful. Look, they just pop out when you open it, but look at that. There's green and gold and a little bit of copper, and it's just gorgeous. And it's everywhere now. Let me move this light in here a little bit more. And the next one is Persian Dawn. that doesn't really help, but oh, look at that. Look at that goodness. Silver, gold, copper, reddish copper. I mean, that is just beautiful. Next one is mulled wine. Oh, this has purple in it, like a burgundy, some gold, some copper, just absolutely beautiful. And as you can see everywhere, this one is Harvest Moon. And that's golds and reds and a little bit of green. Just very, very beautiful. And all these pieces that go down here, I have a little jar where I put the excess, and I'll save those. Those won't get wasted. This one is Autumn Leaves. Oh, look at that. Orange, red, green, gold. A little bit of blue in there. Oh. Cosmic Shimmer, I'm in love with you. And this one is actually my favorite out of all of them. It is called Gemstones. Look at that. Oh, green, burgundy, orange, gold, blue. Just beautiful. So I wanted to share those with you, just so you know there isn't just the one that we used in this project called Red Blaze, which is gorgeous too. And I chose that for more of a holiday theme. But yeah, they're really cool. You might want to check them out. I'll be back when the paint is dry. Okay, I'm back and the paint is dry on these veneers. And ooh, look at that. The purple, the blue, and the turquoise. So scrumptious. So, and this one was already ready to go, but I wanted to wait because we are going to use the one Silkscreen all at once rather than doing one and then rinsing it out, letting it dry. You know, this is just a much quicker process. So what you're going to need here is obviously your Silkscreen, your cutter, your paints, and off to the side I have a container with warm soapy water. I've got some paper towels, and for this video I am going to be using my silicone brush scraper. I call it a brush, but it really is, it's just a color shaper, color mover, scraper, whatever you want to call it. It's soft, it's not going to hurt your Silkscreen. And I have a glass of water over here so that I can dip it in there and get the paint off of it. So let's see. We are going to start with these. And for this one, I have used this screen here. And for the other one will be this screen here. So we're going to start with this one. And you just put it down on your surface wherever you want. And this isn't really going to, I want to mention again, I can't stress this enough, make sure that your writing is readable. If it's backwards, you've got it the wrong way. It needs to be shiny side down. So put it back on there and just kind of lightly rub it. Make sure it's where I want it, right there. And you're gonna have to hold this because you've got your flakes down there, and the screen isn't really gonna have clay to stick to, so you want to kind of hold it. And you want to be careful not to get any of your paint on this one. We're only going to be using it on this one. And for that, I used the black acrylic paint. So I'm going to shake that up good. And I'm going to apply just a little bit to the edge of my brush. If I need more, I can put more on there, but that should be plenty for this small screen. And go ahead and hold it so it doesn't move. And look at how easy it is to get that paint on there. Go ahead and put a little more on. Holding it so it doesn't move. You just want to make sure you have even coverage and that you got every part of the screen. And that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up, and voila, perfect. Now we're going to want to move fairly quickly. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to go ahead and put this one on this side. And on this clay, you actually have something for it to stick to. So let me wipe my silicone brush off, because for this one I'm going to be using the gold paint, so I don't want any black on there. Go ahead and shake up my gold. Going to apply it to the tip, and I'll add a little more this time. And we're just getting it on this screen here. That simple. You're just painting it on, making sure that all of it gets through the screen. And go ahead and lift that up. And I accidentally got some paint on this side, so I'm just gonna wipe that off so it doesn't get on the next project. But that's okay, it didn't mess that up. So I'm gonna put this off to the side. One of these is gonna have gold and one is gonna have silver. So I'm gonna wipe my tool off. And I think the silver is going to be this one here, which is there. So I'm gonna go ahead and right side, use the right side, put that on my clay. And shake up my silver paint. Apply it to my brush. And put it on the screen. Go ahead and pull the screen up. Perfect impression. You really cannot go wrong with this silicone brush. It really does a good job of getting an even coat. And I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that off because we're gonna use gold for this one. Put it onto my brush. Go ahead and run it across the screen. And lift the screen, and I'm immediately now going to put the screen in my water. So so that paint does not dry and clog the screen up. Wipe my hands off that are full of paint. And look at that. We have a perfect impression through the screen using the silver paint and using the gold paint. This one using the gold on black, which we, after we cut it out and bake it, we're gonna go ahead and apply the Stickles glitter. And then the black onto our gilding flakes. Look at that. So our next step is we need to let these dry. They won't take that long. While they are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and clean my screen, clean my silicone brush, and as soon as these are dry, I will be back for the next step. Right, I am back and the paint is dry and we're gonna go ahead and cut our shapes out. So I'm going to move this one aside and we will start here. Now what I suggest is lining up this area and this area the best that you can. The cutter may not, not so much the cutter, but the user, meaning me, may not line it up exact. And that's fine, just as long as you are really lined up here and here. And if you turn it and look inside, you can see the bottom and you can see the top. And I am going to adjust it just a tad. Hopefully my big head isn't in the shot. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. And just like with the 3D cutters, with any cutter, I like to use my acrylic block. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push down with that and just kind of wiggle just a little to help those edges. And that one's done. Go ahead and pull up your excess, and I'm gonna save that. I can make beads with that. So always save your scraps. Put that off to the side. And the next one we are going to cut is this one here, which is going to be the glitter sparkles. So I'm lining up with the top and with the bottom and just getting it the best that I can. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Slight wiggle, don't need much. Go ahead and pull that off. I can save that black scrap clay. I'm gonna put that over there. So see, you have your first hearts cut out and they're gorgeous. So I'm gonna put this off to the side and we're gonna go ahead and do the same. Excuse me, Luna. I tell you, I get up in this house for 1 second out of a chair and I already have a cat in it. I mean, I wasn't even out of that chair for 5 seconds. And Luna decided she was gonna sit in it. I don't know what happened to Pumpkin. He was here and he's just being a really good boy today and not getting in the middle of all of it. So again, we are going to line up top and bottom best you can, as straight as you can get it. And it moved. I had it and it moved. That's okay. You guys are used to my videos being an hour long. All right, that's the best that I can get it there, and I'm gonna go ahead and push down. And I'm also going to save this veneer because it's scrumptious and it can be turned into a bead as well. You know, and the good thing about that is you can have matching beads if you want to add a few beads to a necklace that you would be adding these to. All right, last one. Go ahead and line it up. And look at the bottom, get it as close as we can. Luna, you can't have everything, especially my chair. All right, that one's lined up. Go ahead and cut it. And pull the excess off. And again, we're going to save this because we can make some beautiful beads with that. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. All right, next step is we're gonna check the edges, see if we need to do any cleaning up, which you can do now or you can do after bake. That looks good. That one looks good. Do a little bit here. And that looks good. All right, so the next step is I am going to bake these for 1 hour, and I'm gonna do that at 275. Since this is Primo, 275 for 1 hour, and I'll be back. All right, I am back, and everything is out of the oven, and it's fully cooled. These we're just gonna put aside for now, because right now we are focusing on creating this right here. And to do that, we have our canvas right there. We are going to be using our stickles. And this is glittery goodness in a little bottle. These little bottles will last you a long time if you're using them for this technique. Also using one of these little applicators that come with your kit. Only need one, because what I'm gonna do is have a piece of paper towel off to the side that I can wipe it on in between colors. So what I did here was I tried to kind of do the best design I could. Hang on, I got a whining dog and I gotta let a cat out. There you go, Crowley, have fun outside. The dog is whining because her daddy just got home, so you're probably gonna hear her barking and all of that, and I'm gonna have to shut the camera off. Anyway, welcome to my zoo. I tried to do some sort of pattern here, and I was able to fit 4 on there. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want. That's just what I did. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This isn't really gonna do it. Anna, stop whining. Daddy will be in a minute. All right, so I'm gonna show you how I applied these. You can do any colors you want, any order you want. You know, this is simply a guide. You just take this teeny little tip and squeeze, and it comes right out, and you just put a little line there. And then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, put a little bit in here, just a little line. 1, 2, 3, 4, whine, do a line while Anna whines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put some there. And then we're gonna go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna put a line here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a line here. Anna, stop whining. 1, 2, 3, 4. And do a line here. Ooh, shaking a little there. All right, so now that I have those down, I'm going to take my little applicator and I'm just gonna dab and move it around with that. Oh my goodness. She loves her daddy. She just, the weekends for her are daddy time. Anna, stop. Stop. All right, now we're gonna go on to the next color, and I think I'm going to use purple. And simply put some down in a line, down in a line, in a line, put a little right there. Anna, would you stop? Put some here, put some here. And then we take our applicator and dab it around. Trying to stay in the lines. If you go a little over, no big deal. It's going to be glittery goodness any way you look at it. Now I'm going to move on to my next color, which I'm going to use red. And put a line there, a line there, a line there, a line there, and a line there. And dab it so that it's in all the areas of that. Wipe it off. And last but not least, I'm going to use pink in this last slot. And dab it around so that it's in the area that a little neater than when it came out of the bottle. And if you see, you just take that to the paper towel, it comes right off and you can reuse that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish decorating this off camera and I'll be back. All right, just putting the finishing touch. The dog is still whining. And I'm going to put purple in these last spots. Quiet, dog. Anna, stop, please. It's so unbecoming of you to whine. Yeah, it is. All right. That is that simple. And see, we can use this applicator again on another project. So, this is going to take 24 hours to dry. And is that not gorgeous? I love Stickles. Stickles is amazing. So I am going to sign off on this video. I'm going to do a resin tutorial, and I'll use one of these as an example on how to UV resin, how I spoke of earlier, doing the sides with the Tiny Pandora Deep Shine Brush On UV Finish, and doing the fronts and the backs with the RJ Crafts Easy Dome UV resin. So that'll be following directly after this tutorial. Now to the good stuff. Let me get this out of the way. The giveaway for this tutorial is the whole heart set directly from Tiny Pandora. You will get the silkscreen, the cutter, these little applicators, the brushes, the bales. You will get the complete heart kit from Tiny Pandora, from Teresa. And I want to thank you, Teresa, for sponsoring the giveaway in this video. Your products are amazing, and I'm just honored to be able to use them. So, with that being said, 1 week from today, I will be randomly choosing a winner for the giveaway. I'm not, Anna, please stop. I'm not going to wait 2 weeks because Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so we're only going to run this giveaway for 1 week. All you have to do to enter is like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you're seeing this on Facebook, go ahead and follow my Dreamweaver Designs Facebook page, comment on this original post, and like this post and share this post. Share on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. If you have a blog, that would be awesome. Once you do those 3 things, you will be entered into the giveaway to win a heart kit from Tiny Pandora. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I really do love bringing them to you. And like I said, the resin video will be after this one. So I want to thank you so much for watching and for joining, and please subscribe to my channel. Till later, bye.